three of you. There really, truly is only one state. When Virginia grows, America grows. So forget about the other 49. Virginia, keep that federal money flowing into us. Do it. Folks, we're here for a very, very important and exciting announcement today to talk about Virginia's new and fantastic nutrient credit program. As you know, Virginia is the #1 recipient of economic value from our great Chesapeake Bay. And once we continue to work on it, and once we continue to clean it up, we're going to see even greater benefits from our bay. I'm happy to acknowledge that I just was elected as the new chair of the Chesapeake Bay, so I will be representing all of our states and our governors to make sure we're doing everything that we possibly can to make sure that our bay is clean, because it truly is such a treasure. The more we clean it up, obviously property values goes up, the value of the farms and the production goes up, and then of course tourism goes up, which, as you know, in Virginia is a $21.3 billion business. It employs about 213,000 folks in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we stand to gain about $8.3 billion every year of economic value from our Chesapeake Bay. I come from a business background. I started my first business when I was 14 years old and have started nearly 30 companies. I understand when you have an asset like this, you protect your assets. And that's what we are here today to talk about, protecting our assets for the future generations. We need to take this challenge on and do it in a very pro-business way to bring all of the stakeholders together. That's how I like to govern. That's how we've done it in the Commonwealth. Everybody at the table so that everybody benefits. That's where the nutrient credits come in. I want to, first of all, thank my predecessors, the great work done by then Governors Warner, Kane, and McDonald for the work that they've done as my predecessors before I stood here today. This program allows us to do very important, large infrastructure projects and do it in a way that protects our water quality and does it in a way where we're protecting taxpayer dollars as well as private funds. The Virginia Department of Transportation has been fantastic in this regard and should be an example for all large construction projects that we do in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Just starting since January of this year, the Department of Transportation has offset 54 pounds of nutrients that otherwise would have gone into the bay. They did it with an upfront investment of $900,000, and guess what? VDOT saved $1 million by doing it. So that is a spectacular program. And I'm here today to say we're committing another $1 million for 2015 as we move into the new year. And I know that Charlie Kirkpatrick, where is Charlie? Our stand up, the head of VDOT. Give this man a great round. Thank you, Charlie, because we are now being able to do more construction projects so that we can get rid of any congestion. We don't really have any in Northern Virginia. We do the best we can to whatever congestion there may be. Charlie is being able to stretch those taxpayer dollars. And the great news is we're able to do this also by bringing in the private sector. And we are going to hear in a few minutes from a private nutrient banker. But I do also want to commend the Department of Environmental Quality, DEQ. I know that Secretary Molly Ward and Director Dave Paller are here. If they could both stand up and give them a great round of applause. I've asked them to move with utmost speed because we need to make sure that we have the regulatory climate in place that has certainty to it. So we now have new regulations drafted. Is that correct, David?
That's correct.
Very good. And these have just been approved, I will tell you, yesterday by my office. So now we're going to move ahead very quickly, and we will keep the public comment open up until about December 29th. So for the private investors who are here with us today, we are moving very, very quickly to get certainty to this program so that you can move forward. All of these developments pave the way for a robust private nutrient credit market in the Commonwealth that will bring private capital to the table as we continue to fight to keep Virginia's waterways clean. A key figure in this effort has been Brent Fults, who is here with us today. Brent is the founder of the Chesapeake Bay Land Trust, and he is going to tell us about how he is going to take this to the next level. And once again, Virginia is going to be a leader for the nation of bringing all stakeholders together to protect taxpayer dollars, to bring private capital in, and to protect our environment. So, Brent, it's up to you. Thank you. Give him a great round.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Governor McAuliffe. Thank you for the kind introduction and for allowing me to play a small part in these efforts, building upon Virginia's proud natural heritage and business-friendly environment. I'm Brent Fults. I'm founder of the Chesapeake Bay Nutrient Land Trust. Let me try to take the next few minutes and explain how private investment in this program works and how myself and other investors have risked millions of dollars to create nutrient credits. I'm a firm believer in innovation, and I believe that nutrient trading will help us protect the environment and do so in a cost-effective manner. Nutrient trading takes private dollars and applies them toward conservation efforts that make the most sense for the environment and the farmer. The creative partnership between farmers and private investors has formed a bridge that affords Virginia the ability to grow in smarter ways and achieve public benefits in water quality. I call this public benefits with private investment. The innovation is so strong that it creates a legacy opportunity for farmers. We did on Mr. Harrison's land and on other land throughout Virginia was to take a portion of his land, the land which was least productive, known as subprime land, and create a land use that was compatible with stewardship. What was once a contributor of nutrient loads to the bay now provides nutrient removal qualities implemented through a healthy, active forest. The nutrient credits tied to the land in perpetuity generate natural buffers, wildlife habitats, and improved water quality. The nutrient trading program broadly supports agriculture, ranching, and active healthy forests in one program. Mr. Harrison's land today is still active and is an example of innovation because of the approach and private investment. In addition to this program, it creates opportunities to preserve open space that we work so hard to create. Making this program important is also the fact that the aspects of the Virginia program, nutrient credits, are certified, regulated, transparent, and enforceable. These aspects are critical for such programs to be embraced by the private and public markets. As you heard from the government, Virginia is realizing many benefits. As a Virginian, I'm proud to say that the Commonwealth has embraced this approach and embraced my personal efforts. Thank you. As an environmental effort, investor partnerships between public and private stakeholders can be the foundation for tens of millions of dollars of additional private investment in the Bay. With your commitment today, we will begin to see change. Our industry has a legacy of innovation, stewardship, and we are proud to continue the efforts to help the Commonwealth in its natural resource goals. Lastly, without the support of our federal partners and the EPA's strong support of this approach under Gina McCarthy, we would, as the head of the EPA, this on-the-ground advancement would not be possible. With great pride now, I would like to take a minute and introduce someone who knows innovation well, Mr. John Harrison. He's a farmer, a Virginia landowner, and an environmental steward. Let's give a hand to Mr. Harrison.
I told someone a few minutes ago that I would be much more comfortable being at home on my John Deere tractor, feeding cows, standing behind this podium. But let me take a few minutes to tell you a little bit about Wildwood Farm. Starting around 1890, my great uncle put Wildwood Farm together. He did this up until 1910, and he assembled 900 acres, which is as it exists today. He actively farmed it up until 1944 when he suddenly passed away. And at that time, my parents bought the farm from my great aunt. So it's been in our family for a long, long time. My dad, as well as farming, worked for the Soil Conservation Service for more than 30 years. And he practiced what he preached. He installed all of the up-to-date conservation practices on the farm that were available at that time. He also developed in us a real mindset of conservation. I remember he told us many times that we were stewards of the property, we were not owners of the property. Income for the farm through the years has been basically beef cattle and timber. Now, I saw a recent article that said that the average age of the American farmer today is 58. Well, I'm 12 years past that. And as I have aged, a couple of questions keep popping up. Are we going to be able to maintain the level of income on the farm that we need to keep it going? And are we going to be able to retain the farm in the family and pass it on to the next generation? Those are two very important questions for us. The development of the nutrient credit trading program was very timely for us, I would say. We have removed 100 plus acres from active agricultural production. And in doing this, we have ceased the application of agricultural fertilizer and other chemicals onto the land. And as you know, if these get into the waterways, particularly nitrogen and phosphorus, then that's a pollution problem. In addition, we have planted trees on these acres. And we've in effect created a timberland filtering system. Trees are very effective in removing pollution from the environment, so this is an important step. Come to Wildwood Farm, and everybody's invited. Come to Wildwood Farm and look at our streams. I think you'd be impressed. Visually, you would see that the water runs clear. Even after a heavy rain, it runs clear. And there's very little sediment in the bottom of the stream. So we feel like we've done a pretty good job in cleaning up these streams. Now back to the income question. The money that we are receiving from selling these credits, we are investing this money. And the income from this money is helping us to carry on the farming operation today. But I think most importantly, what it's doing is allowed us to develop a real succession plan so that the future generations of Harrison stewards will be able to retain ownership of Wildwood Farm. I thank you for being here today. I'd like to introduce our next speaker, who is Mr. Mike Boots. He is the, let me get this right, Mike, the chairman of the White House Council on Environmental Quality.
You got it.
I got it right?
John, it's great to be here. I want to thank, obviously, Fairfax County for hosting us today, and thank the governor and your team who have just been great partners on this and a whole variety of efforts from the White House. But mostly I want to thank John and Brent for